good morning, good morning, and please bear with me. It's been a very, very short sleep for me, as I was on the road last night and got home at midnight and then up at 6. But please bear with me. It might be one of those episodes because there's a few things on my mind I want to get off my chest. And welcome to Tea and Coffee with
Paula
and Jay. So also bear with me on the hair. Like, this was a very, very busy morning. I've had to get everything set up. And it's been one of those mornings. So good morning, Paula.
Good morning, Jason. And it's sorry, everyone, it's going to rain again. Welcome to interesting late summer in Breton.
Well, here we go. This is going to be. I got a couple small rants to get off my chest. First, I'll talk about the good news. Yesterday's interviews and the event in Stettler went really well. So I sat down with Cam Davies, the leader of the Republican Party of Alberta, and had a great conversation. So make sure you follow and check that out when it's ready. I also sat down with Jeff Willerton from the Christian Heritage Party. There's his little book, which I'll throw it up on the screen here for him. Fix Canada, and what I like about this particular book is the 22nd edition. So he has keeps updating it because Canada keeps breaking even more and more and more.
Yeah, it does.
So go ahead and check that out. And Ron Robertson. Rob? Oh, might be Rob. Sorry, Rob, if it is. My bad. It is very early. He is the interim leader of the Independence Party. So I talked to the Republican Party, Independence Party, and Christian Heritage Party as my interviews yesterday, and they went really, really great. I think you're going to be fascinated with them. They did good interviews. And especially the Cam Davies one, I think you're going to find it's pretty enlightening. Why is it that he created a new provincial party and is going to keep the fight going? What I learned is he's done with UCP. He's one of the founding members of the UCP. If you read his letter where he left the party, he explained it quite well. He doesn't think it's working anymore. He thinks he went back to the old PC way, the Progressive Conservative Party way. And that's where his position is, and that's why he started that party.
Okay. And so, yes, Lake 10, that is rain. It is not static.
Yeah. Apologies. We haven't finished the shed. We got lots of things done, but we need to insulate the roof, and that will get rid of the sound. And we have a tin roof.
Yes. We upgraded for the tin roof, and this is the punishment for it when you haven't finished doing the insulating. You're going to get every drop, but hang on in that.
This is something that actually is nostalgic for you. Growing up, you had a tin roof spring.
Aluminium roof, growing up in Nigeria, and yes, you literally hear the first drop and the last, and it gets you to fall. If you're tired, you will fall asleep even if there's a giant thunderstorm going on outside.
So if you weren't, I may fall asleep doing this because it is relaxing a little bit. A little bit of white noise helps. But one more thing I want to plug here is I got the first edition, the only edition. This is a one of a kind. This is a gentleman who has the embroidery. He was wearing this hat last night. I'm like, hey, that's a really nice hat. Republic of Alberta. Nicely embroidered. Cool. And then he gave it to me. And he's going to make himself some more because he's got the machine and obviously knows how to use it. And by the way, this would be a great source for any hats that we produce for our show.
Good to know.
Yep. His prices are very good, and he's got the Alberta Blue. So we might see some of those. And we don't sell these, okay? Just to be clear, we don't sell these hats. But if you want to get one, he said you can reach out to us, and we'll reach out to him, and you can get one. He'll make it right on demand for you. It's an Alberta guy. He's at all of the events that I go to. He's a fan of the show. His wife's a fan of the show, too. I'm purposely not naming him because he didn't give me that permission yet. But if you want to get one of these Republic of Alberta hats, you can reach out to us. We'll put you in contact with him. And if you're interested in things like tea and coffee hats or the Levine Show hats, let us know because we haven't ordered any of those. But, that's one way for you to support the show and share your love of this show if that's something that you do.
Yes. Yeah, no, well, actually we do. Yes, and apologies, like my mug is out of shot right now because, again, everything was very last minute. We do, but here's the reason why also it's last minute. We have a guest joining us today.
We'll get to that in a bit. She's going to be half of the episode for sure. It's Councillor Lisa Robinson. Ironically, coincidentally, however you want to look at it, her Alberta Self-Determination episode show's queued up to go at
Yeah.
night. So this is not something we planned to have her on the show today, the same day that her interview in Ottawa goes online. It just so happens she's got an update for us. And unfortunately, fortunately, however you want to look at it, it includes the Levine show this time. And we'll get into the details. My little thing I want to get off my chest is yesterday I was invited to a Spaces with Sue and the woman who came and met us in Montreal. I can't pronounce her last name, but Sue.
Miriam?
No,
Oh.
Sue. Remember she came to the hotel?
Yes.
Yeah. Her. She's a whistleblower from the airline industry. She's a very, very lovely lady. Spent some time with us, with the kids at our hotel lobby before we hit the road for Toronto. And she invited me out to a space.
Mm-hmm.
Now, normally, no issues. But her co-host is Kirk Reese. And if you don't know Kirk Reese, do look into his story. We've had him on the show a couple times. He's an ex-ranger who seems to be, he's a whistleblower, so that seems to be he's a whistleblower. But he seems to be going through a lot of stuff with the government. So whether you see him on our show or another show, he's out there, getting his message out there. Now, Kirk was honest enough to admit that as soon as I was on the show, the Spaces, that him and I have a bit of a history where we kind of, he called it, I forget now. It wasn't aggressive or anything like that. It's just, we didn't get along a lot. And one of the first things he did was he noticed that Jeff Eagley was on, and he was upset that Jeff blocked him. And got into a few things about that. Like, his Spaces wasn't aggressive or abrasive or anything like that. It went well. But I hit the road and went to do these interviews, 4 hours on the road. Come back this morning and my DMs and my notifications just flooded with stuff from Kirk Reese. And he has zero patience, that man. My history with him is every time I open the door to spend some time with him, he does this. He floods with messages, he floods with demands, and then he gets aggressive and abrasive in public. So one of his messages was somebody needs to teach Jason how to share spaces. I didn't share out the space. Look here, Kirk, I hope you're watching or you watch this later. We all have free will, and that includes what we share on our social media. And this is a habit of yours where you bully or try to shame people online to do what you want. And this is the reason why I disengage with you over and over and over again. So I feel a little bit bad that I re-engaged with him yesterday. He hadn't been worked out, spent some time with him, and then the same thing happened again. So I disengaged with him again. I wish him the best. I hope he finds the help he needs on every single level. Because as you know, you met my mother.
Yes. Yes, I'm obviously my mother-in-law. Yes.
Yeah.
My late mother-in-law.
And she's passed. God bless her. She was a paranoid schizophrenic. She was somebody who would share a lot of really weird stories with me about my past. So there's a little bit of trauma there because I grew up with that. I'll just give you one silly example. She tried to tell us that my father was eaten by wolves and his twin brother took over and is now known as my dad. Well, my father is alive. He was never eaten by wolves, and there was no twin set. And so that's that. So paranoid schizophrenia is something I have a big sensitivity to because I love people and I do want them to get the help they need. I am not diagnosed with Kirk in any way, shape, or form. It feels like when I talk to my mom. So it brings back that stuff. So for those reasons, I'll disengage from him again. I hope he gets the help he needs. I hope other people are able to take him through his journey because, he may have one of the most difficult stories for Canada for whistleblowers, but this isn't the platform for him. My stuff is, I work hard to develop a reputation, integrity. I want to make sure that I do that. And you know that if somebody gives me ultimatums or pushes me, that's going to rub me the wrong way. And I'm not somebody who takes a knee to bullying in any way, shape, or form. And that includes sharing spaces.
Correct. No, and I'm folks. I'm hearing this for the first time as well because Jason, it was a case of finish the spaces, then you're leaving, then you came back late, and then we woke up and I was doing something. You have to go get the studio finished setting up. So, yeah. So sorry, you have to deal with all of that. That's unfortunate. That's
my 5 minute alone time emptying the bladder is when I picked up the phone and started going through things, and it was Reese over and over and over again. And I hope he learns a little bit of diplomacy and understands that you can't push people. I'll give you another example on the Spaces itself, because for some reason he doesn't get along with Jeff Easley. Jeff is a great guy. I love that man. We do lots of stuff together. He's always been respectful, not to just me, but to everybody around him. And Kirk put a hypothetical on the line. He goes, between Jeff and me, who would you most likely trust with your children? And there's a face. You see that face. My response was to him is I draw the line at bringing my children into my conversations. I'm not going to answer that question. And he pushed some more. He says, no, you should. I said, it's not a fair question. Answer that. He goes, well, you should. I said, no. A better question is who would I want to be in the fight with? And I said, both of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'd stand shoulder to shoulder with you both. I may have to stand between the two of you because you don't get along with him. But there's no way I'm going to do this kind of hypothetical. That's an example of what Kirk does. I don't know if it's for his ego. I don't know what it was. But if I was pushed to answer that question, it definitely would not be Kirk. Because I don't trust that man on that kind of level. I don't know him on that kind of level. And being aggressive with me that way is definitely not indicators that I would ever get to that kind of comfort level with this gentleman when it comes to my children. And I think that's not to straw that broke the camel's back, but he was iterating through all the people he trusts and that's respected to him. Bob Leone was the person who listed off. And Bob is absolutely one of the very few people that I would categorize, just for my own personal reasons, and again, for my personal reasons. You may love the man, you may respect the man and his work, but for my personal reasons, he created a video that was full of lies about me, which led to death threats, which led to you and I leaving Alberta for 6 weeks because it was not a good time to be at our own property, because between Bob and some other people, a bounty was put on me, $1,500, to collect information about me. And because of Bob, other people like Kyle Cardinal used his information as truth and continued the harassment to us all the way to costing us and approaching us in the food court by the court at Lethbridge. So when it comes to triggers for me, when it comes to trauma for me, or things that I've had to go through, which I think are not nice, that's one name that does that. So Kirk, call Bob. Bob will probably be more than happy to help you out and get you some more of that attention that you're looking for. And I really do hope you get to the end of that journey and have some peace on your boat. But I'm not going to be putting any more effort into that, including the rest of this ride. So when you saw me this morning and I was irritated just before the show, you now understand why.
Yes.
I didn't even have time to talk to you about it. We had to work.
Yeah. And go watch someone else's kids. You're not watching mine.
I thought it was such a weird question. Between so-and-so and me, who would you trust with your kids? Like, geez, we're not going to go there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so thank you for letting me get that off my chest. This is part of what this show is about, is a little bit of therapy for you and I. We get things off our chest and get on with our day.
Yeah. Sorry about that, love. That sucks. Hear these other descriptions, but yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, and then, so that's the only real negative thing that I was dealing with this morning. It was first thing in the morning on my messages. It's like, oh my gosh, this guy again. So, time to move on.
Yeah.
Our drive back, at first I had a message from Lisa Robinson on my phone that says, hey, give me a call. And normally she doesn't ask to be contacted. She'll send links to her videos that she's doing her thing. And there will be some back and forth if we're trying to queue up an interview or something. But this is out of the blue. I'm like, oh, something must be wrong. Something must be wrong. This is Lisa. She doesn't ask for much at all, including phone calls. But here was a message. But again, I was doing the interviews. So I had a 2-hour drive to Stettler, sat down, sat up. I had maybe 2 minutes of free time between those two things. And I didn't even see her message. And when I sat down finally in the audience of the event after I was done with 3 interviews, I pulled my phone and started to catch up a little bit. and text messages take priority
Mhm.
because people like you are on there. So I go see if there's anything going on. And the message from Lisa, give me a call. So they sent the message back, said, sorry, I'm currently at an event, Mexican Bernier and some others, and I'll call you, I'll make right back. And she said, sure, do that. Now, it was like 2 hours later when I was in the car, I gave her a call, and it was midnight for her. So there was no connection. But then I talked to you, and she reached out to you.
Yeah, she reached out. She called me. I said, hold on, making dinner. I'll touch base. And then she sent me a text. And then, yeah, she and I connected. And yes, Lisa is having issues again with her fellow council people. And so yesterday they called a special council meeting because it is summertime. There was a special council meeting called where yet again Lisa was docked 3 months worth of pay. And so we do have, but here's the thing, so there was that, but also one of the things that she wanted to highlight was that the Levine Show made a couple of cameo appearances in the special council meeting. We were referenced, and not in a positive way. And so I debriefed you on that as well.
Yeah, I was wondering, what? Like, this isn't the first time our show has popped up places like that.
Mhm.
The Pat King trial came up. They used one of my interviews with one of my guests. They were trying to discredit that guest as being a gun nut because they were providing information about gun ownership that they were on the show for. So I got a text message from people in the galley of that trial saying, hey, you're on the screen. They're like, what? Yeah, Pat King's trial. That's what that was about. Marco Van Hugenbos, his trial or sentencing, Sean Newman's show and my show. We did some stuff with Marco before his sentencing, and there were clips from our shows during that, being used in that. And then, of course, the pub ban stuff that I had to go through. The Levine Show was brought to the court over that, thanks to the prosecution here in Alberta. So the Levine Show has been in forums where we never thought we would be. I don't think we need to be there, but here's another one now. City of Pickering special meeting, Zoom call or something like that.
Yeah.
That was public, so this was out on the public channels, on YouTube and maybe some other places. And it wasn't flattering. I haven't seen any of it yet.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what it is. But we were being used as an alt-right wing podcast or something like that in a derogatory way. And it's kind of being used against Lisa as evidence that she's right-wing nut or something like that. Is what I don't know what the terms this mayor is using, but I've heard him refer to her that way before. So during a special meeting, he said that. He actually named our show, or at least me, and I don't know how I feel about that right now, because it was in a derogatory way.
Correct.
It was in a demeaning type of way for at least Lisa. And I think we're in a defamation area now when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I would agree, because that's one of the things I was doing last night and this morning, just to finish up. I had to watch it and listen to it and do the time tags so that we can, if you wanted to pull up, we can. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of hearing us used that way, and especially as it was derogatory, defamatory. It was like, no, don't associate us in that way. We work very hard, and just because you may not agree with the content we put out doesn't make it what you call it. So I wasn't pleased with that either.
Yeah, and I haven't seen the contract to listen to it either, but this mayor has come at me on X before too, calling me something like a nut. I'm gonna have to pull it up because this may be needed now. But he's got a history of referring to us that way. I don't even know what that term means. What does alt-right even mean? Although that is a term that's used by the woke to try and defame or denounce or even discourage people from interacting with people with that label. You know, the name calling.
Yeah.
And this is a way to name call. So I don't know if this will be something that you have to address, but it was used against Lisa to take away 3 months worth of pay again.
Yes. Yes, again. It was really frustrating to have to listen to the way they spoke to her.
I'm sorry about the noise.
Yeah, the way they spoke to her, the way they referred to the thing that she's working on and how what the evidence they present takes priority and is correct, but anything she remotely refers to is incorrect and slanderous and defamatory. It was just very, very difficult to listen to, but this is what she goes through near enough at every council meeting.
Yeah, so I don't know if we're going to put it up online. I think I should go through it myself
Sure.
first, so that now that you've gone through it, I'll take a listen to it. And again, sorry folks about the noise and people being distracted here as we're sitting here doing it, but we'll do our best.
Yeah.
But yeah, so driving home, hearing this news, and I'm going to be careful on what I say here because it's may go into litigation. But how an appearance on our show to be used against somebody to take away their salary as an elected official is beyond the scope of this show. It's not what this show is about. We are very careful when it comes to making sure that people are represented well, honestly, truthfully. I don't know of any defamation from Lisa's side to from there, but if that was the case, the proper course for that for the mayor would be to bring that forward, because that's what civil people do, if that's the case. I don't even think they're accusing her of that, of defamation. I'm not sure I have to listen to this. But what I think he's done is unnecessary, and I have some deficiencies.
Right, then we should. Exactly. So yeah, I recommend that like we've got the time tag, listen to it yourself, and you have a conversation about it.
So, audience, how bad is the rain right now for you? Because it is pretty harsh here. It's coming up pretty hard.
Yeah, lots of background noise on my end. The audio's getting progressively worse. What's going on in your studio? Spambot fodder. It's rain. It's rain right now. That's what the noise is.
Yeah, and it just started just as the show.
I know. Just as we went, it was quiet, and then just as we went live, it started.
I'm sorry, folks, because I can imagine it's like a your side because it's loud here.
Yeah.
And I tried to explain this to you the other day, and it wasn't as bad as it was the other day. Because they give a bigger, heavier drop than them. So I don't know. Maybe the Pickering town mayor there is sent some clouds our way, or maybe this is just reflective of my mood today because I feel like we're under a cloud today.
Today is going to be a rainy day, though. I know one of the local events in Breton got rained out. It was meant to be a water day today. So they were going to have like water activities for the kids. And they canceled it yesterday because they knew today was going to be raining.
Well, that may affect the rest of my day because I have a guest that's been always coming to interview and you can't do it like this.
Correct.
So if it's not going to let up, they give us soft, it's okay. But if it's not going to let up, then we're going to have to reschedule that.
Yeah, no, I disagree. Yeah, we have to do that. Otherwise, you have this as the extra guest. I mean, rain to make it cameo or do the extra.
Yeah, sorry folks, if you were distracted for me, I can imagine how bad it is for you right now. No, it's not scratchy. We'll be able to post-produce fixes of it today.
Yeah.
Not right.
Again, what you've added to your skill set with regards to being able to do this type of thing.
Yeah. But how are you all doing? Maybe we'll get to some of your chats as we're waiting to see if our guests will be joining us. And sorry about the little rant, but I got left the wrong way, and it's my fault because this is a pattern that I have with this gentleman, and we need to understand that it's unwelcome detention, it's unwelcome pressure, and I wish him all the best in that because I love the wrong way again.
Yeah. Well, there's a nice comment here from Crystal. Jason, all I can say is this. If they're trying to make you look bad, then you're doing the right things.
That's a fair way, a fun way to look at it for sure, Crystal. And I appreciate that. And, I'm sure the people that watch when the mayor speaks and they know what kind of gentleman he is and anything he says, they look at the opposite of it. Maybe we gain a viewer or two, but at the end of the day, an elected public official with authority using the platform of the city to defame. Like he easily could have just said, will you go on podcasts that are all right? And left it at that. Naming names, I think,
Exactly.
is where the lines cross. Because I wouldn't be able to have a claim against him if he said you went on podcasts and they're all right. Because he didn't name anybody. But defamation requires identifying the person very clearly. But when you say about twice,
twice.
Do you want to kind of give me the full thing?
Well, just my notes here. So first of all, he goes on about basically. She starts off by trying to explain like why is their information being taken from the integrity commissioner as gospel, but it's not even truly being investigated or verified.
Who's they in that?
Okay, so you have council, and then they go to the integrity commission, who were also there in the meeting. But then she says, but when I'm presenting information, you guys aren't investigating it, and you're saying that it's hearsay. And then he started clarifying that, you know what, they said, well, you haven't given us any information. You don't give the people who've done bad information against them, you take it to the police. And that's exactly what she's currently working on, gathering the information. But they start off with saying that, yeah, we get mentioned as the Levine Show, and noted as far-right media. And then it gets mentioned again that she goes on these far-right podcasts. And a little bit later on again, by name, the Levine Show, mentioned again. And then they subsequently muted her. And then they subsequently removed her from the council meeting.
That's unfortunate. So I'm gonna navigate this one delicately because there was online text posts by the same person, same mayor, saying similar things like that out of the blue. Like, I don't even know why you guys come after us for that. So we'll let Lisa do her thing and navigate that one as well. But now that's a year and 3 months straight of no salary. The process is a punishment, and I think they're trying to break her and discourage her and get her to leave. I hope she stays strong because she absolutely could make a run to be mayor. And I think that she has that kind of support, and this could be really the catalyst of why they are spending so much time on trying to get rid of her, especially the mayor, because she is one of the voices on the council that is sane, does understand what she's talking about. I've never heard her talk in a negative way before, and clearly I think what this mayor is doing is he's trying to discourage her from even fighting against him, possibly. And I'm be careful how I say there, because I'm not going to make accusations about his motive. We may have to find out if he could support his statements in the future. So we'll have to do that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, exactly. And I agree, we as the Levine Show, have to just watch and see, and this is a review. But this is Lisa's everyday interactions with them. And I find it very incredibly hypocritical that they talk about how she's not treating her fellow councilmen with respect and integrity.
You go closer to the mic, because that may help with the range.
Sure. She's not treating them with respect. What on earth is being reciprocated to her? Like, it's incredible. Like, I got to listen how they disparaged her, but they apparently do no wrong themselves. So it was tough to listen to, but this is all the time, all day, every day in the King Council for Lisa.
Yeah, and it's bullying from my perspective, because it's 6 against 1. They're using the power of the mob, which he has pointed out. The integrity commissioner, I guess the integrity commissioner is part of it.
Yes, he was there. I think that there's 2 of them that were there. But yes, they were part of the special council meeting.
Okay, well, that was interesting. The integrity commissioner sitting through possible defamation of other people who weren't there to defend themselves and using it as evidence against somebody. We're not alt-right, whatever that term even means, because we know it's meant in a derogatory.
Yes. No, of course not. No, I'm not alt-right. I'm an immigrant. I'm an Arab descent from an African nation. And I'm now Canadian. I have a weird accent in comparison to where I'm from. And no, I'm not alt-right. It's not in any way, shape, or form in my background, in my mindset. Neither is it in yours. And neither is it in the content that we present. So, no.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Hopefully that rain continues to slow down a bit for us here.
Yeah, well, Lisa likes it. Lise likes it. Just, that sound of rain makes me want to sleep. It's so relaxing.
I get told that about my voice. Yeah. So if you're not awake, grab your coffee and grab your tea. So yeah, babe, if you want to try and get that key going, I'm sure we can make things work. Just try and dip under the camera if you're gonna go do that.
Or just taking off screen.
Well, again, that camera's on me.
Oh,
so
oh
you
yes,
have
yes,
to dip
yes. I get
underneath
you.
it. That's the way you do that.
I will dip.
You might see the top of her head, and she did it. Watch the cables.
I did.
All right, so the rain's starting to slow down a little bit, and yeah, this is probably as irritated as you'll see me. I usually have pretty thick skin, and I don't let things get to me. A long drive, hearing about the mayor once again doing his thing, which isn't nice. He's not being a nice gentleman. He should be courteous and professional and civil. He's chosen a different path in my mind. Been having to drive to 2 hours to get back here. I was watching the thunderstorm form though, so that was kind of neat. And got home midnight, like midnight, and go back to sleep and get up to be here with you all. And another thing we're going to do is we are hitting the road soon. But I will announce that I've booked my flight to go to Ottawa for the Secretary Bruce sentencing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be out there. I think I land September 2nd and I leave September 7th.
The Sunday, whatever the that is.
So
Yes,
we
I think yes, the second.
Okay, so it's Tuesday I land.
Yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is the hearing.
Yeah.
Saturday, I may have a nice special interview.
Mm-hmm.
Met Maxine again last night. We're like old pals now. And apparently in Quebec, the Bloc Québécois, which is pushing separation of Quebec, is gaining a lot of support. So a lot of support. The fact Maxine was kind of excited because, of course, he was for the separation of Ottawa, of Quebec. Yeah. And so he's going to do his best to get me an interview with the leader of those parties, Québécois, for the conversation about Quebec separation and how it's heating up now. So if there's an Alberta push and a Quebec push around the same time, this could help both of the movements because it kind of validates that both have good grievances to move forward, and it's not just one, which will also cause Canada to maybe split and split their effort of trying to denounce any of the efforts. So if Quebec and Alberta are pushing at the same time, I think that helps both of them. So while I'm out there to see Detective Bruce and then watch that sentencing, which by the way is going to be silly. It's more procedural than it is anything else. I think the results are ready, and just hearing officer is very clear. His goal, his mission, maybe to complete an for a career. So I do know the prosecution is asking for dismissal. They're trying to get her fired. Yeah. That's what they're looking for out of this. And of course, Detective Bruce, she's going to continue to fight for her career and for the people of Ottawa.
That's right, more for the people of Ottawa. But she's still employed, but she still serves because she's such a great police officer.
And just a great person. And she makes great brunches, and she has a lovely family. She is one of the good ones. So we'll go see the closing arguments, sentencing arguments, or submissions. And maybe go back to Montreal to get some more interviews. Maybe get another interview in Ottawa at the time. But yeah, if you're in the Ottawa area, maybe get you for coffee or something.
Well, Crystal's already booked you for dinner.
Oh, really? I get dinner.
Yeah, we have to do dinner while you're in town.
Yeah, and Crystal's just me, so I'll be hopping on one of those tubes that go in the sky to get out there. So it'll be just me. But yeah, I'll have you.
Yep. All right, we have a guest.
Oh, we do have a guest. And look at that. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And please bear with us as it's raining here, so there's a little bit of noise.
Good morning, good morning. How are you two today?
I'm not sure if you caught the first half of the show. I'm in an irritated mood.
No, I did. I just got on a couple of seconds ago, so please enlighten me.
The news out of Pickering last night, I got to hear about it. So that was one of the things on my mind. And just watch it. I don't want to rehash a lot of things. Actually, I'm looking forward to spending some time with you and having a conversation about your special event. And by the way, this is coincidental. Your episode's coming up tonight. from the Alberta Self-Determination Series. I had it queued up on Monday, so it was ready to go for today. So, yeah, kind of faith or whatever you want to say, you're going to be on tonight, and we'll have your excellent interview, by the way. I have to go through it and listen to it again in almost slow motion. Excellent. And I think we had a lot of great things to say.
Oh, good. That's great to know. Thank you so much. And yeah, I mean, you don't have to rehash what happened yesterday in my council meeting, but, I chalk it down to this. He's jealous. Plain and simple.
It is.
It's nothing but jealousy. He can't debate anything. Everything he says has to be written down. It's not even authored by him. And I mean, that's okay, because I mean, a lot of people in positions of power, they have people that do whatnot for them. But, if he tries to speak off of the cuff, he just can't do it. So he's very, very jealous. He's jealous about, the people that have been standing up for me. He's jealous about, going out and being able to talk on talk shows. And just about everywhere I go, people are coming up to me, giving me props, telling me Lisa, don't give up, counselor, you're the strongest person we know. You're giving us hope and faith. And yet, people like him, they're coming up to them and they're accosting them, calling them names and this and that. And so, it comes down to jealousy. He just can't debate me. So he's got to sit there and try and smear my name because he can't speak to the facts and what's really happening.
That's unfortunate. Now, Paula has gone through the video. I haven't. I was driving back, and sorry for the late call. I did call you as soon as I was done, but it was very late. And we got a message from our audience. Yes, the real mics are on. It's that loud in here, so sorry about that. But no, we've seen this behavior before. I want to be careful on this episode, Lisa, because I'm not sure if there's going to be litigation initiated on our side over some of the things on there. I have to still go through the video to see what's there. But I'm sure it's not flattering, and it was used against you in a negative way. Your association to us is a negative thing for you, and I didn't like what I was hearing from Paula and from what you were saying.
Yeah, I completely understand that. That's what he's doing everywhere, whether it's on social media, across Facebook. There's this really nasty Facebook group, and it's called Pickering Talks. And he'll go on there and, he starts calling people conspiracy theorists. He says that they're racist if they have any kind of, connection to me. And even if they don't even have a connection to me, but they're just saying what you're doing, Mr. Mayor, is wrong. You shouldn't be doing this. Then he starts attacking them and say, well, if you protect a racist, that means that therefore you aren't racist type thing, right? Or you're a conspiracy theory, or you're transphobic, or you're homophobic, or, because he can't debate a conversation. Everything is name calling, and that's all he knows how to do. So, it's not just you that he does it to. It was the first time that he did it openly in chambers, which in my opinion was extremely unprofessional, right down disgusting. But this is his behavior everywhere he goes and everything he touches. We even went to speak to Bill 9, for the legislative body to try and stop this draconian measure from coming into place. And those of you that don't know what Bill 9 is, that's going to give them the provincial government the power to the municipalities if they want to remove a sitting member of council, they will be able to do it. So why bother even holding elections anymore? So I had mentioned that I was going to be speaking to this, and I got my date and my time. Well, guess what? Since I did that, the mayor decided he wanted to speak at it too. So he spoke after me. And when you put both of our comments and our speeches next together, you'll see that I was speaking about the bill, the good points of the bill, the bad points about the bill. But all he did was he sat there and slandered me the whole entire time. He brought my name into it, said, this is why we need the bill. He's made comments they should call this the Robinson bill. And, it was so bad that the chair actually had to ask him to go back to speaking about Bill 9. Because he wasn't even speaking to Bill 9. It was just an opportunity for him to slander me in any possible way that he could.
And I wish I could say this was the first time I've had an interaction with the mayor, but it's not. On that, he did the same thing to the point where I'm like, this can't be real. It just can't really be him. This must be a parody account or somebody acting like him to make him look bad. But we confirm, no, sure enough, that is the mayor's account. This is how he talks. We're going to look at the history, and he had other posts that was more official or more about his business as the mayor. So it was his account. Unfortunately, we're going to have to maybe bring that up again. And this is just silly. Like I was saying to Paula before you came on, he could have simply said, you go on podcasts that are all right, and you can even label it that way. But the name he's done, that's where I think a line has been crossed, and he's using it in an unflattering way for you, and using it as part of the penalty against you. So I think all of this together is the textbook defamation classification.
Well, you know what, and you wouldn't be the first person that's doing it. You know, I know that there is a court case that has been started against him already. From a member of the community, and it was because of, like, you know, that propaganda video that the city put up against me and my town hall, and they had used the CCTV cameras there and added that into the video, which, you know, they even have in their own bylaws and procedures that they're not allowed to use the CCTV cameras, like, you know, for spying on anybody unless there is a reason. Well, there was no police reports filled out. There was nothing. This was just pure propaganda against me. And the thing is like, you know, they use taxpayer dollars to do it. So that also is now being investigated, or soon to be investigated, because I mean, that's a pretty serious offense where they're using taxpayer dollars to put out a propaganda video to destroy, you know, another counselor, especially when he knows that I want to run against him for the mayoral campaign next year. So that's exactly what it was. It was nothing but a slur. They'll say that it had to do with people's safety, and this is the reason why they were moving their meetings online, but it's not the reason, because, like, you know, they show up at all the events. There's no police presence. There's no security guards. You know, they show up in council chambers. They have their wives, their daughters, their 8-year-old grandchildren with them. But yet they're saying that they're fearful for their lives type thing, right? And for the reason to move online. It's just because they don't want to be held accountable. You know, we started having people show up at our council chambers, residents, and also people from the region of Durham, because, you know, we do have 3 regional councillors plus the mayor, so 4 that sit on our council, who, you know, wanted to voice their opinions and say they don't like what's happening. They don't like the new rules, like, you know, not being able to film in chambers, not being allowed to do this, that, the other. I mean, there's so many different things that could go on for hours. But because they're starting to speak up and they say they don't like what's happening, they're the ones that are fearful. They don't like having any kind of interaction with people. And so they make up these excuses. It's like public mischief is what they're doing. And they just shut people out altogether. So last night at our council chambers, like, you know, online, he was able to mute me numerous times. I wasn't able to ask questions to the penalty because they took another 3 months pay. And then he actually took my video off as well, because, like, you know, I was kind of laughing at my son because my son was making some comments, and, you know, I have to be happy about what's happening. I'm not going to sit there and give him the satisfaction of being sad and woe is me. No, not at all. Because I told him, it's like, you know, this shows to his character more than mine.
And he did this in front of the integrity commissioner. So I think there was 1 or 2 of them on the screen at this time as well.
Yeah, so there were 2 integrity commissioners there. And they don't usually come on, both of them at the same time. But, you know, this time they did. And the crazy thing about this is, like, you know, the mayor always makes a habit of saying that these are independent integrity commissioners. But what people don't realize is, like, you know, the city of Pickering pays them. Okay. And not only that, we pay them for all the work that they do. So the more work that they do, the more that they get paid. Right. And so if they're going after me, they just want to get paid. So, like, you know, the 2 of them start showing up. And, you know, as I was saying, we were out there, I'm speaking about the Bill 9, the integrity commissioner was there as well. And then, like, you know, some people had sent me photos of, like, you know, the mayor and the integrity commissioner all having a grand old time, like, you know, laughing in the corner together. So there's more of a relationship there. And also, when you consider that all of the complaints that have come to me against me that I've been sanctioned for, for over a year now. A year of my sanctions, pretty much, or just under a year of my sanctions, have come directly from complaints from the mayor and the CAO.
So wow, like this is,
Yeah.
and they didn't step up and say, stop or anything like that. And I'm sure that if there was an integrity commission complaint about that meeting against you, they're already participants or witnesses. I don't know if they could be independent enough to go ahead and have some sort of adjudication because they are in the meeting. So I wonder if this may have opened the door for you to get some other integrity commissioners or different venues or some recourse on this, because those two people were there. They can't be unbiased anymore. They are now a party to the event. So this might actually be a silver lining for you. You might be able to open the door to have a different venue to deal with people.
I don't really think so. And the only reason why I'm going to say that is because, the integrity commissioners are always there whenever I'm being sanctioned, right? They have to be, because they have to give their side of the report. Well, last month when I got sanctioned for another 3 months, so yeah, I've been sanctioned for 6 months already in the last 2 months. They were there, and I had asked them afterwards for an appeal or, to relook at the evidence, because they sanctioned me without even looking at my rebuttal, my evidence. They said that they didn't receive it, but I had sent it back on June the 6th. They denied, said that they didn't see it. And I said, well, you know what, you guys can't really sanction me then, because my evidence isn't there. It was your mistake. Like, why don't you read the evidence and then sanction me later if you feel that that's what you're going to do because they want to. But no, they decided to go full stream ahead. I even contacted the CAO, the city solicitor, the mayor, all of my fellow councilors saying, hey, this is wrong. I supplied them with my evidence, with my rebuttal to their complaints, and they're saying that they didn't get it, and they're going to go ahead and sanction me anyways. And the things that they're sanctioning me for, if I can give you a couple examples, last month, it was because I had made mention that surveys can be skewed. I think that's a global known thing, is that surveys are skewed. Like, you ask certain questions to get you to a certain result, and you don't ask other questions to stop you from going in another direction. So I had made comment that they're skewed. I didn't say the city of Pickering's surveys were skewed. I said surveys in general are skewed. I also lost income because at my town hall meeting, I had a sign-in sheet. Well, we had all gotten there late. And so the sign-in sheet, all I did was was not me personally, but somebody else took people's first names or initials, just so we know who's coming into the town hall. Now, on that piece of paper, there was also a place for, forget I even talk about that just yet. So I was sanctioned because I had people's information and I was in breach of MFIPA. That's what they said. So then when I sent them a copy of the sign-in sheet, all it has is some people's first names, even if we even got them all, I don't think so, and their initials, but that was it. There was no phone number, there was no address, there was no email address, there was nothing else to be able to identify that person. But because I had placeholders in place that said phone number, address, and email, I got sanctioned for that, just for having a placeholder in place. And even at the top of that page, I even had a disclaimer that if anybody was to give me their personal information, I would have the right to use it for anything outside of Ward 1 business if I wanted to, because a lot of people want to know what I'm thinking about and my views on, federal politics and provincial politics, right? So those are a couple of things I got sanctioned for last month. And then yesterday, we implemented this MAT tax on our hotels and motels. Well, Pickering only has 2, but it's going to be an additional 4% that people are going to be charged when they come and they want to stay in the city of Pickering. So with that, if we go back a few months now, one of the directors, a director, had stated that he spoke to the hotels and, everyone's on board and they're okay with getting a 4% tax. Well, I also spoke to them and sent them messages, and they were like, we don't know anything about this, counselor. Absolutely nothing. So then, of course, I made mention that the director had lied, out and outright lied to the people and to council. And I'm getting in trouble for it. I'm getting sanctioned for it. And what they did to try and protect him, they actually said that no staff would be attending our council meetings that whole entire month because they didn't like me telling the truth. And then they chalk it up as me being maliciously harassing somebody because I said somebody was lying. It's not like, I went attacking him like here, there, and everywhere. I basically made the comment. So that's how I'm losing my pay for things like that. Absolutely disgusting. It's deplorable what they're doing.
Sorry, I'm trying. We're losing a little bit of internet too now. One of the things that I think conservatives have been doing wrong for the last little bit is not fighting back. We keep saying like we take the high road, we don't get into the mud with these kind of things. But at the same time, we are the ones that keep getting dragged into it. That was Tipowitz come to mind. So recently, he put Dean Blundell on notice that he's going to initiate action against him for some of the posts he's been doing. I think it's time that conservatives start doing that. We start punching back. We don't punch down, but we can punch back.
Yeah.
Because the problem that we're having here is we're passive and we're trying to focus on what we need to do, and these people are doing these kind of things. So I think it might be time to start punching back at some of these, because why shouldn't we defend ourselves at this stage? And it seems like we're just being bullied, and at some point the bullied kid does have to fight back. So Evan Chipowicz is doing that, and something that your mayor may learn the hard lesson of is when you do it online, the jurisdiction, there's case law about this, the jurisdiction can be almost anywhere. And in Alberta, defamation is treated very harshly, and this could be why Evan Chipowicz is using the Alberta courts that Dean Blundell who else in Ontario. They do take it very seriously. I know the Ontario courts and Integrity Commissioner, it's very difficult to get a ruling in your favor out there, but Alberta may be different places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I went to as I said, last month when they were taking away my pay again, I had actually said, because the integrity commissioner's name is Principals Integrity, and I had actually said that, this is, they have no principles or integrity. So that didn't go over very well. So when I was asking sorry for my cat here. So when I was asking for, to appeal the 3 months that they had took from me, they actually sent me back a letter and said that I was undeserving. So right there, it's showing their biasness, right? And they're saying I'm completely undeserving because I said that Principals Integrity had no principles or integrity. So, for them to sit there again and then this month to take away my pay. And then at the end of the council meeting, the mayor actually made a comment. Well, before I got kicked off and I couldn't speak anymore, he made a comment as they were leaving, as they were exiting the meeting. He's like, yeah, he goes, we'll see you next month. And of course, the integrity commissioner, she started laughing. Can you believe that? These are the people that keep on taking my pay away. So my pay has now been taken away for a year and 3 months. Right now, I'm not going to get paid until sometime in January, as it is. In January. And, I'll tell you another reason why I lost my pay yesterday was because they said that my comments of them being corrupt and the sexual harassment and the threats and everything, that I haven't given them the evidence for it. So they're saying that these are baseless accusations. So I'm like, excuse me, but Mr. Mayor, would you give the evidence to a criminal and let them investigate themselves? This is just mind blowing. They just don't understand. I said the evidence goes to the police, Mr. Mayor. That's where it goes, not to the integrity commissioner that's being paid by you and the corporation of the city of Pickering.
Yeah, but did he produce the evidence about all the podcasts that they're on, and would he just label the solid female?
Right. Sorry, I didn't hear you there because of the microphone.
Don't worry, you just keep talking. Our audience is recording that.
Yeah. So, I had the police at my house last week. I've had them here numerous times, and whenever they're going to investigate something, it has to go to the OPP because, like, for the Durham Regional Police to investigate anything that has to do with the city of Pickering or with the members or with council or with staff or anything, it has to be outsourced because it is a huge conflict of interest. And they just don't seem to see this. And like, I even started to bring that up yesterday. It's like, so the mayor and the CAO can, sit there and put complaints in against me, or my fellow councilors can. And then they also get to vote on my sanction. It's like, they're judge, jury, and executioner all in one. And that's exactly what's happening. And and that's why the mayor keeps on saying that this is independent. There is nothing independent about integrity commissioners. And you see it happening all over the place. And not to mention Principals Integrity. They have actually been fired from other municipalities for their biased reports. And, I even tried mentioning that yesterday and he shut me off. And then, another fellow counselor says like, oh my God, she shouldn't be talking this way. And I'm like, but it's the truth. They have been fired for their biasness.
Sorry, Lisa, we're really trying to deal with the noise. All our levels are peaking. The rain is coming down hard. I'm not going to blame the mayor for this. Although I would like to, it's a way of muting us. If that was the goal, it might be working. We're doing what we can on this end to our audience. We know it's bad, if we can hear it to them. And Lisa, I do have a lot of faith in your ability to stay strong. I think maybe part of what's going on here is they're worried about you, not just as being an effective counselor, but maybe sitting in that mayor's seat someday. So I would stay strong because this may be your path. And this is exactly what the city of Pickering might need, is something strong like you that's willing to stand up and run for mayor. Because I think that's one way to really fix Pickering and bring forward exactly what they need, so people like you in that kind of position.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that. I've had just an outpouring from many people, and I mean from everywhere, saying I should run for mayor or I should run for premier. They'd vote for me for premier. It's amazing the amount of support and love and that is coming from everyday people who see me on these podcasts and they reach out. And I mean, that's what keeps me going, is because I mean, I know, we're all standing on the right side of history on this one, right? And we have to keep fighting. A lot of people, they're being canceled, and I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of being canceled. I don't know if you saw my video I did the other day on male masculinity, because they're trying to say it's toxic. So I actually did a video on that, and again, they're trying to say that I'm transphobic because I'm talking about real biological males, and that there's nothing wrong with them being strong or opening up doors or, carrying heavy things. Right. And they're trying to come after me saying that I'm transphobic for that. Right. It's absolutely crazy what's happening.
Yeah, no, they're just label makers, and that's what they do. We all go through it. But it might be time for conservatives to step up and for punching back, because this has got to stop. There's so much to perform, and if we allow it to continue, we keep going and going and making it worse and worse. First, it's just some posts online. Now it's in chambers with the public watching.
Yes.
And for you, this is nothing new for you. You have a whole list of defamation. So, and worse. You shared some of the stuff with us. It's worse too. You go beyond defamation. So I think the right step for you is to continue to deal with the police. I will weigh my options here. And unfortunately, do you think it would be the city of Pickering to have to cover any defamation damages?
Do I think what? I'm sorry, I heard that last part. It cut out.
Do you think it would be the city of Pickering to have to cover his defamation damages, or will it be him personally?
That I'm not too sure about. I do know that when we are elected officials during the time that we are elected, they do take care of that for us. They'll pay for the lawyers and whatnot to defend us. But obviously that doesn't happen for me because, I don't get the same rights as everybody else. But I think so. But, I will find out that answer for you, because I said somebody is actually is taking the mayor to court in October. So I'll find out from them directly. I'll reach out to them because I know who they are. So and see what I can find out there. Yeah. And you know what? When I was at the court the other day, I ran into somebody and they actually told me that actually the OPP is also investigating another member of council, something I had no idea about. So people are starting to fight back and they're starting to go against the city of Pickering and the councilors because they do see the corruption. I mean, it happens to everyday people. I have emails from constituents telling me, like, you know, everything that has happened to them. And it's like, some of it will just make your head spin because you can't believe that this is what's happening. But again, I can, because I'm living it and I see it each and every day.
Well, Lisa, we got to wrap up here at the end of our time, and we're stopped abusing our audience with the rain over on this side. So thank you very much for hanging out with us today. Keep up the good fight, and we'll be in touch, okay?
Yep, we'll be in touch. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for having me on again. Take care, guys. Have a great day.
Bye. Sorry, audience, about all this noise. We knew it was going to rain, but it was important to talk to Lisa and get this information out there. So thanks for sticking with us on this one. We're going to do what we can. But hopefully everybody has a great day. And we're going to have to sign off now. So we'll talk about making a point to you. I love you all, and God bless.